and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Dream Satin Liquid Foundation by Maybelline. This one also is a foundation and hydrating serum in one. So I'm going to see how this tests out during the winter months. So let's get on with the video. So I already put on my primer. I used the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So it definitely does give me a nice hold throughout the day. But I cannot wait to try the Urban Decay primer that comes out on the 5th. I will definitely be going to the store to grab that. That is for sure, and I'll be doing a review on that. Alright, so I let the primer sit for a second, which you have to do with that one. And we are going to go in with the Beauty Blender. So I'm going to go with half the face with a dry Beauty Blender and then the other half with a wet Beauty Blender to see what really works better. So I have it in the shade 75 Natural Beige. Let's see. There's really no smell to it at all, which is pretty nice. And it is gliding on. Not too bad at all. This one has definitely, this is like the Dream Satin. So for what I'm noticing is a little bit of less shininess, still a nice little dewy look to it. It's not full coverage. It's more like a medium coverage, but I'm pretty sure I could build it too if I want. Trying to create a line with a little bit more. Blending it out, down the neck, half the nose. Definitely quite different. Doing half the face. So this is half the face with the foundation on and half without any of the foundation yet. And this side I'm going to use a wet Beauty Blender. So it glided on pretty well so far, and it does, I definitely do need to set it. I just can't wear it by itself. I do feel like it could slide without setting your powder, but we all kind of do want to set our powder. So now I'm going to wet my sponge. Oh, right, it's a little too wet, so give me just a moment. So now my Beauty Blender is just the right amount of wet, so we're going to go in with the other side now with the wet Beauty Blender. So with the wet Beauty Blender, so far I'm not noticing a whole bunch of difference. We will see in a moment once I have it all blended out on the one side of the face, and I'll get more of an up close look at how it is doing. So what I am noticing is I'm going to have to build it just a little bit because the wet Beauty Blender did bring it down like a notch down for full coverage, or like the medium coverage like I said before. So a little bit more. On this side I only had to use like one actual squirt, and this side I'm going to have to use two to make sure that there is the same amount on coverage on both sides. A product like this I wouldn't be able to really use during the summer, even though I do live in Florida. I really couldn't use this in the summertime because there'd just be too much humidity in the air, I think, for myself. But we will definitely try that out, and I'll come back to you guys during summer. Right now we're not really that cold in Florida currently, but our humidity level is a lot more down. It's getting just a little bit lighter temperature, not really chilly, but I know today I could definitely wear shorts, sandals, and probably go to the beach and not be too bad at all. So I am going to Alright, so the two pumps did make it look exactly the same on both sides. This one has a little bit more of a dewier look to it versus this side is a little bit more matte. So it definitely does have a satin look to it, but depending on if you want it to have like more of the satin, or we actually call it like dewy, there's different terminology for that. But this side definitely has a dewier look than this one, or the fact that it's actually drying on this side. So I'm actually going to give it a moment, and I'm going to let it dry evenly on both sides before I even do these. Oh, I don't even know. Do I want to do the setting powder first? Well, I want to give it a good fighting chance. So I'm going to let it dry naturally. Then I'm going to do the setting powder to kind of like make sure that it's all set in place. And I'll be right back. So I definitely have let it dry naturally on its own, and I do see like a satiny airbrush look to it, which I am really liking so far. I noticed no creases underneath the eye, but we won't really tell until I do the setting powder. So now I am going to start doing that, and I use the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD. I grab one of my, where's that brush I used? There it is. So I can definitely feel when it's on the spots, so it definitely does still need this because it still has that foundation liquidy feel to it until you add the powder. And the powder is definitely taking away a little bit of that dewy glow look to it, which will happen when you start adding powder, since all mine are kind of usually like mattifying, because I do have kind of like combination skin. So I've noticed like during the winter right now and the colder days, I have basically been getting like dry patches on my face due to the colder weather and working outside, because the restaurant I work at, we have an outdoor area, and I noticed some dry patches around here. So I'm hoping this hydration serum will help while I'm at work during the winter months, and then go back to like the other makeups that I use during summer. So I noticed I needed that little extra push, so I'm hoping this will help. Making sure I get every area, which I can definitely feel when I've gotten every area, because when I first put the brush to my face, before I put all this on, I noticed more of like, I could feel the brush getting kind of like a little bit caught on the foundation, but once I got all the powder on, I could definitely feel like more smooth look to it. So far, so good. Ooh, I didn't add any concealer or anything. Ooh, all right. So I guess I will not be doing that today. Hooray. Forgot a step, darn it. Oh well. I've been getting enough sleep for the past like 3 days, so it's not too shabby right now. But well, at least we'll be able to see how this foundation works alone without any concealer. Alright, so I'm going to grab one of my kind of kabuki style brushes, add on my powder, which is still the Kat Von D, the Locket, the older version. I was able to find it at Marshall's, and my shade too, ironically enough. I never find anything in my shade, powder or foundation wise there, so I was pretty stoked. I should have grabbed like 3 of them since they're only $5, like half the cost, more than half the cost, like fraction. Alright, I'm gonna get this everywhere. So far I can definitely feel around my upper lip area. It's like grabbing onto it, and I fear that later in the night I'm going to really notice like maybe some cracking or separation, which I really hope I do not, because I have to work late night tonight, which is a really good night to really see if this will work. Alright, now that that's done, alright, now I'm going to go on with my other makeup. So far the powders have wet on, but I do still, it feels kind of like it's really grabbing on and soaking in the powder portion of everything. So it definitely really feels like that. I know everybody doesn't want to like touch their face, but like I'm really trying to feel like it looks really flawless in the mirror, which is why I'm looking like past the camera a little over, because it's like right behind you guys, and then I have a little one in front of me. It's looking pretty flawless. It's matching my skin really good. Luckily I have these mirrors, so I never leave the house with unmatching skin tone. So now I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup, so I'll be right back. I'm done with all of my makeup and everything. So I have noticed that I do see my pores, but when you look far away, you don't really see the pores so deeply. My blush and everything, definitely bronzer, highlighter, definitely grabbed on to everything, so that's good, because I do feel a little bit of a stiffness, but more of a like it's going to stick, kind of like when you put the all-nighter spray on, kind of just like that stiffness. Especially I did put that on afterwards and it's kind of like magnified a little bit. So the stay power might be pretty good with it, but we'll see at the end of the night. And I do notice that if I just keep smiling, which I will be doing a bunch at work, I might get some creasing underneath my eyes. So I did a really little light look today. I used the Jeffree Star Conspiracy palette with Shane Dawson. And I used food videos in my eye. I used Just a Theory on my lid. And then on the bottom, I used my pills to get a little bit more of just like just very light. You can barely tell it's there, but it adds a really nice little correspondent to the look. And so that's what I did, just put something very simple so I could just more well focus on the rest of my makeup and how it holds up than my eye makeup. I didn't do any falsies because I'm working later and I don't want those to at all bother me through my shift. So very minimal look for today. So I will update you guys later and I'll tell you how it holds up. I just hope it holds up very well because I have to go to work. Alright guys, I'll see you in a little. Alright, so I just got off of work and it is currently 1:18 in the morning and now it is the 4th. And this makeup has definitely lasted more than I would expect for a drugstore for sure. I do notice a little bit of creasing under the eyes, but it's because when I smile, I do have lines. So there is a little bit right underneath the eyes. And I do notice a slight rub off of the makeup, but my blush has stayed on really good on top of it. My bronzer very lightly, my contouring. And my highlighter is still really on there, and so is my eye makeup, which I did use a little bit of primer on there, but wow. Which is a Maybelline primer too, ironically enough. It is the Master Prime, which is the one I used, and everything's pretty good. I had a compliment around 11:30 that my makeup looked really good. So I am pretty satisfied, even when like I have a little bit of acne and one of them did pop during shift, and it still like covered it pretty well, even though it popped all the disgusting stuff. And it's really good. Like, I do notice a little bit of lightening to it, but yeah, I give this one like a full-on thumbs up. So I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you subscribe, comment, and don't forget to like it. Bye.